Relationships. Relationships are so incredibly powerful. You know that when you're in a relationship and everything is going so well for both of you, you feel like you're on top of the world. You feel like you can handle any challenge, overcome any obstacle. And yet, unfortunately, when we're in a relationship which is temporarily challenging, hopefully it's temporary, or a couple is going through some downs, they feel low. And it's really a different type of dynamic and feeling of the relationship compared to the first one. And largely it is due to a misunderstanding between the woman and the man. In other words, men and women, we know, are created differently. They have different natures. And if a man and a woman do not understand each other's nature, that is primarily where the problems begin. One of the ways that we try to balance ourselves in relationships is personal space versus quality time in relationships. And I hope to share with you ideas on how to clarify that and put it in better perspective, and of course give you a practical tip. Okay. Women are known to want to share their space, right? Spend time together. The woman will feel a much greater need to share her life and her thoughts with her husband, particularly when it comes to sharing her experiences, her life, her thoughts. We can look at a woman and look at her as a circle, right? Everybody's in her circle. She's worried about everyone. She's thinking about the grand scheme of things for everyone's welfare. By everyone, I mean her immediate family, her husband, her children. She looks into their future. She wants to make sure that they're taken care of, all their needs are met, and they're a whole and complete person, right? She is like a wall that encompasses all the residents of a city, right? That's how you could think of it. She is the backdrop. She's the stability. She's the one people go to. The woman surrounds and holds the entire family inside her, right? She's the one who is responsible for the atmosphere in the home. She is the home. If the woman is happy, everybody's happy, right? If the man is unhappy, it's probably because he's hungry. It's probably because he's temporarily upset. So we want to remind ourselves that the woman is so incredibly empowered by just her nature, if she knows her nature and appreciates it. Therefore, a woman naturally seeks partnership, right? To feel that she's not alone and that someone is there to support her. So women often get upset with their spouses, right? When they feel like they're misunderstood, they're not understood enough, or the husband isn't paying attention to her. They're not listening to her, right? The husband isn't listening to her. It seems like he doesn't care about her and doesn't listen to empathize, to sympathize. And it even looks like he may not love her, right? By the way he acts, because he's acting like he's indifferent. That's not because it has anything to do with her personally. It's because of his nature. He's different than her. She seeks the support, the partnership, the closeness, constantly sharing her thoughts and experiences, her feelings, right? You don't understand how I feel. And that's a big misunderstanding between spouses. Now, a man, if we understand and appreciate the nature of a man, we'll be able to understand why. So the man, his nature is personal space. He likes his space. He doesn't like to be controlled. He doesn't like to be told what to do. He feels extremely put down if he's given directions or told what to do, how to do it. It's not in his nature to abide by these things, right? It has to be his decision. He wants his personal space. He is representative of the arrow, right? He's an arrow where he has a goal, a mission, he's going to strive to accomplish. Okay. When he gives the woman, his wife, the information she asked for, if she's asking him questions, he feels this is enough conversation. And she's like, well, we didn't talk yet. And he'll probably say, yes, we did. I just told you about my day. And it was fine, right? There's no details there. And she wants all these details, partnership, She wants to reflect back and forth, right? And the men like the express version in the conversation, right? So she may feel that they have not talked yet, that he doesn't want to spend time with her. She feels left out. She feels like he's keeping something from her. It's really not that at all. It's just not in his nature to share openly about um his day and himself. Men do open up. However, that's a different topic, how they open up. But this is just an overview and understanding of our natures, and it will help us get along better and understand each other better. So men talk about concrete things, what they see, what they hear, what can be done, right? And while women like to hope and like to aspire and futurize and make plans, right? And hopes and dreams. That's why it's really important for us to understand the difference, and so that there are less misunderstandings about who we are in a relationship. So, how do breakdowns of marriages occur? Primarily because we don't understand our natures. We're not aware of it, right? So many marriages fall apart simply because men and women do not understand and accept each other's nature. The woman feels that from her point of view, her husband doesn't connect to her. This is from her story, her side of the story. He's not connecting to me. He doesn't understand me. She may say she doesn't care. He doesn't care about me, and he doesn't really love me. He doesn't care. He doesn't call me. It's because he doesn't love me. And that's not because of why. It's because he's so immersed in his work, in his business, or in this project that he's just, until he's done with it, he's like an arrow. Till that mission is accomplished, there's no other mission that's going to be thought about, right? Okay, well, the woman is just, she's like a spaghetti, she's like all these wires are intertwined. This idea, that idea, how am I going to, connect these two things? She's thinking in the large scheme of things, the bigger scope of things. So when we acknowledge this basic difference between the male and the female nature, and as a woman, if we understand this about our husband, it will give us a peace of mind, and it will also provide us with some tools that we will need to handle ourselves better effectively, and also ultimately make the most out of our marriage. So the Rambam gives guidelines in the laws of matrimony on how it is that a woman should act towards her husband. Okay, of course, men also have laws on how to treat their wives. However, these are the laws we're going to focus on regarding the woman towards the man. And he says, and I quote, "And similarly, they commanded a woman to honor her husband exceedingly and be in awe of him. She should carry out all her deeds according to his directives, considering him to be an officer or king. She should follow the desires of his heart and shun everything he disdains." Now, what does this mean? This sounds like she's a soldier. She's following his orders, and he can say whatever he wants and do whatever he wants. So we know that in Judaism, this is not the case at all. If we understand Rambam correctly and what the Torah teaches us, this is totally understandable if we look at it as, by the way it's meant to be. So the woman is obviously not a soldier. However, in her womanly wisdom, as long as she treats her husband like a king, as a king, she will automatically be treated as a queen. Now, if she treats him vice versa as a soldier, he has to do things her way. He's treating her, like Rabbi Leah Brody says, like a dirty rag, right? Like a dirty rag. And the mop goes with a dirty rag altogether. We don't want that kind of relationship where we treat each other like dirt, right? Not the way we are meant to treat each other. So what does it mean a woman should honor her husband? What do these mean? It means that a woman needs not to respect her husband only by what he deserves, right? Or what she thinks he needs. This is enough. I asked for his opinion, right? I could do whatever I want. No. Rambam is teaching us, our sage is teaching us, we need to honor our husbands as wives more than is sufficient, more than necessary, more than we think, more than how we feel. Okay? And we have to respect him and refrain from belittling him, right? We as women, men reply and react in such a sensitive manner if their wives disrespect them. It means so much more. His oxygen is respect. So once there's no respect, he won't even hear you. He'll just hear noise. Okay, so men don't appreciate that at all. Women are disrespected. Yes, they don't reply the same way. They don't react naturally the same way. They're hurt, and they get over it much quicker. But men, it's the core. It's their nature. Women need attention. Men need respect. Okay. So another form of respecting our husband is by asking his opinion in advance for matters that are important to him, right? Not things that are small, because they will sound annoying to the husband. Like, what should I give my son for dinner if he doesn't want this? That's annoying. Like, that's a little thing that you could figure out on your own. And yes, you can figure out a lot of things in your marriage on your own as a wife. However, when it comes to terms that are important to our husband, as long as it doesn't go against the Torah, the laws of the Torah, we need to follow what's important for our husband, all the big things, right? So for example, if it's important to him not to invite so many guests, or the type of food that you serve, or not to have so much junk food in the house, or not to spend so much money on needless things versus what you really need versus what you want. So these are some examples of important matters. Another form of respect is serving him what he wants and giving him what he desires, right? As long as, again, we said it's not forbidden by Jewish law, by the Torah law. You constantly try to please him and give him what he wants and desires, right? This is his kingdom. In a way where when he feels like a king, maybe she will discover as a wife that it is really him doing her will, and she will in turn be treated like a queen. So in her womanly wisdom, when a woman treats her husband and gives her husband the oxygen he needs, being treated like a king, being respectful, yes, asserting herself respectfully, giving her opinion respectfully, it doesn't mean she does everything he wants the way he wants it. In her womanly wisdom, she respects his decisions. She doesn't control him. She gives him what he needs. And what happens in that way is that he in turn actually does everything, if not most of the things that she wants, because she's treated then like a queen. A queen, when she says something she wants, her wishes are honored. And that's what we want. We want to be treated like queens, but we first have to do the work of treating our husbands as kings. Okay. When a woman tends to her husband's inherent emotional needs, her husband will feel secure in his role and happy to support her and give her what she needs. So what are her husband's emotional needs, right? As long as a wife gives her husband emotional needs, then in turn, he will give her whatever she wants, right? So what are his emotional needs? It's expressing compliments to him, expressing gratitude to him, even for the smallest things, and also respecting him. These are his emotional needs. When his emotional needs are met, he opens up and he gives her what she wants, what she desires, and treats her like the queen she is meant to be. I hope these ideas were helpful. I hope that we can merit in our relationships to balance personal space versus quality time, to understand each other's natures, to understand and respect each other's personal space, and not take it personally when our spouse needs that time to themselves, and we can respect our natures and hopefully become better partners in our relationship. Appreciating the insights of Rabbi Zamir Cohen in his book, The Complete Guide to a Successful Jewish Marriage for Women. There's also one for men. This is the one for women. Leah Abramov, Being a Becoming. Awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.